Hey guys, it's Chris sitting here back from CNH Smalley again for another informative video about lawnmowers. This one is solely designed for Honda Harmony style mowers with the real crappy xenoloid deck, as I call them on here. These are the plastic deck machines that I really hate over here, because the problem is with these types of decks on here, they transmit a heck of a lot more vibration and NVH throughout the whole machine, as opposed to the typical steel decks they have on the other models out there. And I always recommend don't ever buy one of these plastic decks, because they're a nightmare to work on because of the way they make them out there for that. And also, if you're out in the yard and you hit something hard, you can put a big hole in the side of the deck, and basically your deck's junk from that point on. The video I'm dealing with right now deals with the drive units on this machine. This machine was made, I believe, back in between 95 and about 99. And a customer here, he called me up over here a couple days ago, and he was complaining that the drive was not driving for him out here, and he took it to some other shop, and he basically had some work done last year to it, because he was claiming they put a new drive cable or drive belt, and he didn't have any receipts from them at all. So we checked it out over here, and I'll give you a rundown what we did to it over as well too. For reference, this is a Honda Harmony 215 down here, and also, let me flip it around, you can see the other side as well too, is the HRM 215 with the EE code on the tag on it as well. And this is also a model number starting with the MZBB-6 series, and also it also has the SDA tag over here for the self-propelled drive system on it as well too. And this transmission is a 2-speed transmission, as some of these older styles are. The other newer ones are single speed or vari drives, they call them, under for that. And let me flip it over and show you what we did on here as well too. These decks are absolute garbage, so I don't know why Honda ever designed them in the first place, but I really hate them myself. And here's the drives, or here's the bottom of the drive unit on here is the deck system, anything else underneath here. You can see down here, they do have a quite high quality transmission on these things on here. This guy actually had this thing replaced. He told me about 2 times already since he bought it. And these things aren't cheap. They're over $150 from the manufacturer out there for that. It's a Spicer Dana transmission on these things. And what we found on here was he had a lot of like oily deposits up underneath where your drive belt fits off the engine's PTO down inside here as well too. You have your belt drive, it goes from the engine back to your transmission back under here, and they have a real big tensioner spring up under. And you actually had 2 tensioner springs. You have one right here for the speed control on it, basically that actuates by your handle up there. You also have another big tensioner spring way in the back here where my fingers, let me see if I can pull my finger at, let me see, straight back through there. There's a real big spring in the back there for that. And so you have 2 tensioner springs. One's counteracts the other one. The main tensioner spring is what gives the belt nice and tight tension like it is right now, because whenever we originally took this thing off here, the belt was basically loose as a friggin' goose on there. And here's the original belt. You show this thing looks like. Here's the one we took off here, and it looks like somebody put a aftermarket belt on here. This is a Sten's True Blue HD belt, and this is a covered belt, and there's some chips taken out of it on here as well. And here's the OEM Honda belt right here in my hand. This is what it's supposed to be. This is the OEM genuine Honda belt made by Bando on here for that, and these are genuine OEM parts because of the red tag they have on here for it as well too. The genuine parts, Honda Aluminum Incorporated, made in the United States of America. And when you take these things apart on here, you always got to check the pulley. Well, I should say check the pulley in the back, because you have a big pulley in the back, way back here in the top of the transmission. That thing can get water, rust, debris on it. And the front one down here as well too can get water, rust, and debris on it. So we had to clean them both out. I always recommend using brake cleaner, stuff like that. Clean it out, let it soak, then spray it out. And then also, if you have a brush or wire brush, put a wire brush down inside there and clean it out. Then clean the pulley out on top of the back of the transmission as well. In the back here, you have pulley way down inside on the top of you can't really see it right now because the drive system's in his way and all his baffle plating's in the way as well too. But you get the point, and basically those pulleys have to be absolutely spotless clean because whoever worked on us previous did not put the proper belt on here. This belt right here is what we call a covered belt. It has a covered, like a cloth material over top of the typical rubber underneath there. This right here is what we refer to as a raw edge, the OEM belt. Here's the aftermarket one, and here's the OEM one right here. The OEM one is a raw edge V belt. It's almost shaped like a trapezoid type of them. And this is a lot better belt because they grip a lot more because they don't have any covering on the outside, so it provides a lot more sticky friction service. So whenever it's under tension, it grabs a heck of a lot better on these units out there for that. So be aware of that. Don't ever put aftermarket parts in your machine because this guy called me up about let me see here. He had it done by the air shop, I think back in October, and then it's already June here, so it's June, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. It's about 6-7 months already since he had it done by them, and the belt slipped off, and he actually had a lot of grass and water up inside as well too, so we cleaned all that out and got it running for him over here right now. You always got to make sure the thing's running after you do the job on it for as well too. Just check over the other parameters because we also had to put some bolts up inside it because these the problem is with these plastic decks, they have a lot more bolts than anything else that you have to mess around with because the deck is plastic and they have bushings, and I think some of them actually have rubber O-rings on there as well too, and rubber bushings that fit up inside there. That's one of the drawbacks to having these type of deck design out there for that. So that's basically a review of why you should always use OEM parts when you can on specific machines out there, because they usually last a lot longer and they give you a lot less problems in the future for that. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot, let me flip this thing back up here again. There you go. Anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about something like this here, just give me a call here after hours. Don't call me during hours, or you can more preferably leave me a message on my Facebook page here, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can when I can. I'll see you guys.